Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Asmanawati Siji. Here I will explain about explaining skills, especially the definition and purpose of explaining skills. Explaining skill is the skill of presenting information orally that is systematically organized to show a relationship between one part and another. For example, between cause and effect. Definition by example or with something that is not yet known. Submission of information that is well planned and present in an appropriate order is the main characteristic of explaining activities. South also said that giving an explanation is a very important aspect in the activity of a teacher. Interaction in the classroom tends to be filled with conversation activities, both by teacher and student as well as between students and students. Giving an explanation is a very important aspect in the activities of a teacher. Interaction in the classroom tends to be filled with conversation activity, both by teachers and students, as well as between students. The next material is purpose of providing explanation. So the purpose of providing explanation is to guide students to be able to understand science objectively and reasoning, to train students to always concentrate on listening to the teacher explanation so that it involves them to think while solving problems or questions, to get students' response and feedback regarding their level of understanding and to overcome their misunderstanding, and to guide students to appreciate and get the reasoning process by using evidence in solving the problem. Okay, that's all the material from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hello, my name is Suratina Sabah with a registration number A1M21916. I'm from Group 2 of Micro Teaching. Alright, in this time I will tell you about some reason of mastering explaining skill. First point is improving the effectiveness of the conversations, so that is really a meaningful explanation for students, because in general the conversation is more dominated by the teacher than by the students. Like how teacher explaining and asking till where the understanding of the student, and student asking the question for the teacher, and so on. Jadi ini merupakan bagian terpenting dalam ruangan kelas, di mana dengan keaktifan kita dalam berkomunikasi antara guru dan murid maupun sebaliknya, itu sangat baik dalam situasi belajar dan mengajar, serta terjalinnya komunikasi yang baik juga di antara kedua belah pihak tersebut. Misalnya ketika guru menjelaskan dan kemudian siswa tidak paham akan materi tersebut, kemudian ia bertanya kepada guru, dan itu merupakan nilai terpenting dalam kelas. Poin kedua yaitu sometimes the explanation given by the teacher is not clear to students but only clear for the teacher himself. Maybe because the style of language used by the teacher cannot be digested or understood by the student, or is not in accordance with the level of development of their thinking. This is reflected in the teacher's words. Your explanation is clear, isn't it? Teacher in recognizing or analyzing the level of student understanding was indeed and very important in the process of providing explanation. Nah, ini menjadi masalah ketika dalam kelas itu ada beberapa murid yang tidak paham tentang apa yang gurunya bawakan atau materi apa yang gurunya jelaskan, atau kemungkinan penggunaan bahasa atau dialek serta penjelasan yang tidak jelas sehingga mempengaruhi proses pemahaman dari siswa yang ada di dalam kelas tersebut. Oleh karena itu, penting jika mungkin ada sesuatu yang tidak dimengerti bagi siswa, harus ditanyakan kepada guru, dan sebaliknya, jika guru bertanya kepada siswa, guru harus bertanya kepada siswa apakah mereka paham dengan materi yang dia bawakan tersebut atau tidak, sehingga guru bisa mengulangi materi tersebut. Poin ketiga yaitu not all student can explore their own knowledge from the books or the source. Therefore, the teacher needs help to explain these things. Or teacher can give more media like according to current situation and, for example, like and others. Nah, ini lagi menjadi masalah karena tidak semua siswa dapat mengerti penjelasan yang ada di dalam buku. Oleh karena itu, pentingnya guru membimbing dan memberikan materi tidak hanya melalui bukan di zaman semakin canggih seperti saat ini banyak anak-anak yang sudah mengenal media online, internet dan gadget. Oleh karena itu, guru harus membimbing mereka agar menggunakan media-media tersebut dengan baik. Poin keempat yaitu lack of available source that can be used by student in understanding the lesson. So, those important to teacher to help student by providing her verbal information or more explanation in the form of explanation that match the material provided to help the understanding of students. Di sini juga banyak kendala terutama pemahaman siswa-siswi dalam kelas. Jadi guru harus membantu murid dalam memperoleh informasi verbal yang cocok untuk mereka ketika belajar mengajar untuk membantu pemahaman siswa. Jadi dapat disimpulkan peran guru ini sangat penting dalam kelas, apalagi seperti yang kita ketahui bahwa guru itu sebagai pengganti orang tua di rumah dan untuk mendidik dan mengajarkan murid-muridnya di sekolah dengan baik. Oke, baiklah, saya rasa itulah beberapa poin dari reason of mastering explanation skill dari saya. Semoga bisa bermanfaat. Saya tutup dengan ucapan wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. My name is Deacon Alamsyah and I'm from the group 2. And the material that I will be delivering at this moment, it is explaining skills. So my friends have, like a kind of delivered their presentation and their materials, so it is my turn to explain about techniques of explaining skills and as well as the principles. So first, it is a techniques of explaining skills. So as you guys know that explaining skills has 3 techniques that students or teachers can implement once they are in a classroom. So it is specifically for teachers because they are a teacher. They have to teach their student so that the students can understand what they have taught previously. Well, so techniques of explaining skills. Techniques of explaining skills consists of 3. So first is asking. So asking, it is the first steps that teachers can do once they are in a classroom. So the teachers usually starts the lesson by asking a question to students. So we have to also remind or also keep in our mind that this question is in accordance with the material to be delivered to students once they are in a classroom. So in the opening of some courses or instruction, it can be seen in the discussion of theme or sub-theme that will be discussed that day. So for example, we want to talk about explanation skills, like I'm saying, like I'm talking right now. It is a sub-theme, so we also have to give, as a teacher, we also have give a questions or ask a students related to the material. So some questions are also as a questions related to or more focus or students' intentions, so that whether or not they understand or comprehend or even absorb the material to be delivered that day. And usually the students, if faced with a questions, they would be afraid, right? So because they would be afraid, we have to, stimulate them with a question so that in the beginning of instructions or teaching, um, students can be, excited to learn, and therefore they will also repeat the material that has been delivered to prepare themselves, even if one day teachers wants to, ask the same questions they have asked before. So that is the first step, asking. And the second is explanation. So not entirely the questions from teachers can be answered by students. So that's why with various techniques, asking also give a beneficial thing for students to, absorb or understand the materials that teachers has given. So for example, when you want to talk or when you want to teach about the material in English, so you have to give a comprehensive lesson or material, because when you don't doing when you don't do such a thing, that means that it's hard for students to understand you. Well, that is the second. It is explanation. So, and the third, it is also the last one, it is providing example. So once you give an explanation, once you first you're asking students, and then you're giving explanation, and then the last one you have to also give them an explanation or provide them explanation, or I mean examples, because with examples they can, see them as a real one. So if there is an object in that learning, they can implement it, the material easily, so that the learning process will be effective and efficient. So that is the third techniques of explaining skill. And then I will be delivering the material about principles of explaining skills. So principle of explaining skills, according to J.J. Hasibuan, it is actually necessary to be understood by teachers, because it is also a crucial one. So the explaining skills, the principles are: first, an explanation can be given at the beginning or in the middle or even at the end of the meeting. It depends on the need once we are in a classroom. And the second is explanation can be interspersed with questions and answer. Third, the explanation must be relevant to the topic and to the purpose of the lesson. And four, explanation can be given if there are questions from students or even planned by teachers. 5. The subject matter must be meaningful to students. And 6. The explanation must be in accordance to or with the students' abilities, because that is the first, that is the most important things that teachers and students can do in a classroom. So from the explanations about the principle, it can be concluded that explaining skills is such a crucial aspect in learning, because you know it needs to be mastered by teachers, so that in explaining to students, it can really make students understand what the materials is being delivered, because the success of students is influenced by the ability of teachers in providing an explanation of the subject matter. So I think that's to me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Intan Kurnianingsi. My official number A1M2-19008. In this opportunity, I will explain about the characteristics of explaining skills. There are 6 characteristics of explaining skills. The first characteristic is coordination in statements. The statements used by a teacher while explaining should be coordinated because the explanation becomes meaningless once the coordination is lost between words and sentences, and so the students are misinterpreted. The second characteristic is lack of irrelevant statements. All the statements should be related to one another while explaining because there is no use of irrelevant statements in the teaching as it takes much time and misleads the students as well. The third characteristic is fluency in language. During the teaching-learning process, the teacher should have the language fluency. It should be audibly clear and sound with the proper pause in teaching so that the student can hear properly. Okay, the fourth characteristic is connecting links. Connecting links are very important while explaining. Most of the teacher uses proper examples, idioms, phrases, and statements for the effective explanation. The next characteristic is clear beginning statements. It is very important to share the idea about what to teach in the class, and it should be very clear to the students so that they become ready to learn something in the class. Okay, the last characteristic is use of proper words. Teachers must use proper words and sentences in order to make no mistake while explaining. These proper words leads a good explanation, which it is easy to understand and more convenient for the students. There should not be any unwanted sentences while teaching. Okay, I think enough from me. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Ayu Ashari and my registration number is A1M21900. Okay, today I wanna explain about one of them, the basic skill in micro teaching. It is explaining skill. Yeah, before I explain about what is explaining skill or what I have explained in front of you, first we have to know the definition of explaining skill. Explaining skill is an action skill in which teacher tries to satisfy students requires related to any principle, condition or situation and views. Okay, we go to the components and practicing in explaining skill. Number one is a component of explaining skill. In a component of explaining skill, there are 7 points we have to know as a teacher later. Number one is clarity. Clarity atau kejelasan ini sangat diperlukan bagi seorang guru. Kenapa? Karena seorang guru harus menjelaskan ataupun harus memiliki sebuah kejelasan dalam menjelaskan sesuatu kepada muridnya sehingga muridnya bisa dengan lebih mudah mengerti apa yang akan dipelajari atau apa yang akan dibahas dalam setiap pertemuan ataupun dalam proses pembelajaran yang sedang berlangsung. Kemudian yang kedua adalah kontinuitas atau kesinambungan. Ini berkaitan dengan materi-materi apa saja yang akan kita pelajari atau guru bisa mempersiapkan materi yang akan diajarkan kepada siswa sehingga bisa menetapkan atau bisa menentukan kesinambungan ataupun related antar materi pertama dengan materi selanjutnya. Kemudian yang ketiga adalah relevansi dengan konten dengan pernyataan awal dan akhir ataupun conclusion. Sebagai tenaga pendidik, kita tentunya harus mempunyai sebuah aturan dalam mengajar. Artinya, guru harus bisa dengan jelas memberikan pernyataan atau memberikan kejelasan terkait materi apa yang akan dibahas. Misalnya, dalam proses pembelajaran, pernyataan awal yang diberikan akan sama ataupun akan berpengaruh dengan pernyataan akhir yang akan nantinya disimpulkan oleh siswa dari proses dari pembelajaran di awal hingga pembelajaran di akhir nanti. Kemudian yang keempat adalah covering essential points. Ini mencakup poin-poin penting apa saja yang akan kita ajarkan kepada siswa, sehingga kita bisa menentukan arah dan tujuan dalam menjelaskan sebuah materi yang akan kita berikan kepada siswa. Kemudian yang kelima, yaitu simple. Ini tentunya bagi seorang guru, tidak semua guru mempunyai skill dalam mengajar yang sederhana. Artinya sederhana bukan berarti sesuatu yang mudah, namun mudah di sini dikatakan bahwa siswa ataupun guru bisa dengan secara seperti sederhana ataupun mudah untuk siswa mengerti apa yang disampaikan oleh guru. Kemudian yang keenam or 6, relevant and interesting example appropriate media. Ini adalah bagaimana seorang guru bisa menyediakan media yang menarik bagi siswa dalam menjelaskan di depan siswa sehingga siswa menjadi lebih tertarik, menjadi lebih tertantang dengan pelajaran yang dijelaskan oleh guru. Ini tentunya akan membuat siswa lebih bergairah dalam belajar karena memiliki motivasi yang baik yang dia lihat atau yang mereka lihat dari proses pembelajaran berlangsung. Kemudian yang terakhir, our 7 is use of inductive deductive approach. It can be functional, causal, or sequential. Sebagai seorang tenaga pendidik, seorang guru tentunya harus memiliki beberapa poin yang saya sebutkan tadi. Karena di dalam kelas, siswa mempunyai beberapa perbedaan antara siswa satu dengan siswa lain. Sehingga guru bisa dengan mudah ataupun guru bisa menentukan apa yang siswa butuhkan atau apa yang mereka ingin lakukan ketika mereka di dalam kelas. Ini berkaitan dengan subjek pembelajaran. Kemudian yang kedua yang ingin saya jelaskan adalah practicing explaining skill. In practicing explaining skill, there are 2 points we have to know. Number 1 is planning. Yeah, as we know that the planning is number 1 to make something better. In a planning skill, there have several points, or exactly 6 points we have to know. Number 1 is rules, generalisasi, or idea yang harus kita sampaikan kepada siswa. Ini berkaitan dengan pertemuan awal dalam menjelaskan ataupun dalam memberikan pertemuan kepada siswa, apa-apa saja yang akan guru jelaskan dalam pertemuan awal tersebut. Kemudian yang kedua, yaitu membangun hubungan antara ide-ide. Ini berkaitan dengan pertemuan siswa dengan guru yang terjadi dalam kelas. Ide-ide yang dimaksud sini adalah apa yang nantinya akan diajarkan ataupun guru memberikan sebuah kontribusi, kemudian siswa memberikan feedback apa yang ingin dia sampaikan sehingga akan berkesinambungan dengan apa tujuan dari guru menjelaskan tentang materi yang akan diajarkan. Kemudian yang ketiga itu sebelum menjelaskan, seorang guru harus mengetahui tentang pengetahuan seorang siswa, seorang guru. Lebih jelasnya, guru dalam mengajar ataupun dalam memberikan sebuah pengajaran, mereka terlebih dahulu harus mengetahui sejauh mana pengetahuan siswa ataupun pengalaman mereka serta minat apa yang mereka inginkan ketika nanti proses belajar mengajar berlangsung, sehingga di dalam proses belajar mengajar, guru bisa dengan mudah mengkontrol segala sesuatu yang ada di dalam kelas. Kemudian yang selanjutnya adalah cara penjelasan. Ya, di sini adalah guru memberikan ataupun seperti yang saya katakan di awal tadi, simple dalam menjelaskan, sederhana namun bisa dimengerti, bisa dengan mudah dimengerti oleh siswa. Cara menjelaskan di sini adalah seharusnya guru bisa ataupun seorang guru hendaknya mempunyai cara tersendiri sehingga mereka bisa dengan mudah membuat siswa lebih mengerti dengan apa yang mereka ajarkan. Kemudian yang kelima, or six, is a flexible and have a feedback kepada siswa dan guru. Feedback yang dimaksud sini adalah respon apa atau hubungan timbal balik yang terjadi antara siswa dan guru ketika di dalam kelas saat pembelajaran berlangsung. Kemudian and or finally, seven is sesuaikan dengan apa yang murid butuhkan. Nah, di sini seorang guru hendaknya mengetahui apa yang murid butuhkan. What is a learner need? Karena pada dasarnya setiap siswa mempunyai perbedaan ataupun mempunyai tujuan atau keinginan yang berbeda-beda dalam melakukan proses pembelajaran. Nah, disinilah guru menganalisis bagaimana siswa ingin melakukan pembelajaran yang secara efektif, yang secara mudah dengan dia mengerti apa yang diajarkan oleh guru. Kemudian in number 2 is operation. Operation di sini adalah pengaplikasian dari apa yang disebutkan dari planning tersebut. Disinilah bagaimana guru mengaplikasikan planningnya yang dituangkan atau yang diimplementasikan secara nyata di dalam kelas sehingga memberikan bukti nyata dalam memberikan penjelasan yang secara jelas kepada siswa dalam proses pembelajaran. Okay, I think that's enough for me and I'm sorry for my mistake, and I just want to explain 2 points. It is components of explaining skill and practicing of explaining skill. So thank you very much and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mutia Alvina. My official number is A1M2190112. Now, I would like to present 2 points of this material. There are suggestions for effective explanation and ways to get students to tell what they need to know. So, let's get started. We have to notice that as a teacher, we share our knowledge to our students because our students' knowledge are lack if it's compared with our knowledge. So that we have to synchronize our thoughts with our students' thoughts. Here, I would like to share some suggestions for effective explanation. Okay, the first suggestion is prep first. First of all, we have to know what students struggles by asking them some questions like, any questions? Or what part you don't understand when after you explain the material. It will not take a long time to re-explain the material. We'll explain it again, so you can move safely to the next material and there's no problem with your students. The second suggestion is explain in a small bites. Explain the material in a short piece at a time and then don't go until you are sure and make sure that all of your students understand what you have already explained. The third and the last suggestion is don't start too far. Go back. When a student asks a specific question, answer it and focus on the question. Don't answer it too far. Well, that's all 3 suggestions for effective explanation. Now, I will explain with the next point. There is ways to get students to tell what they need to know. The first way is collect the questions. Ask them to ask some questions, then write down their question on the board. After it's length enough, then you can start to answer it one by one. The second way is the old card trick. It's similar with the first one. You ask them to ask you some questions but the questions are written in 3x5 card. Then you can select some good questions and write them on the board or read it out loud at random at the classroom. The third is electronic variation. Ask students to send you email that contains their questions a night before the course. And the last way, ask them a question. Ask the students a question, preferably about an experimental situation. After you post the question, you can ask the students, like, what do you know that's relevant to this question or situation? Or what do you need to measure or find out? After you have discussed what information you need, then you can go over how to use the information to get the answer. This sort of exercise will reveal what level of knowledge that students have, like what facts they have already know, and their level of insight, like how good they are at applying the facts. It will also allow any misconceptions or uncertainties the students have to surface. Well, that's all 2 points that I've already explained. The next material will be delivered by the next speaker. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hello everyone. My name is Laudable Jakaria and my student's registration number is A1M21910. So my part will explain about the teacher's mistake when explaining the material. So sometimes when teacher explain the material, they do some things wrong. First, just sitting all the time. This is one of problem that can prevent the teacher's explanation to reaching the students. So, perhatian guru saat menjelaskan dengan hanya duduk di tempat duduknya, itu tidak bisa menjangkau seluruh siswa yang ada dalam kelas. Jangkauan guru saat menjelaskan di tempat duduk hanyalah siswa-siswa yang berada di depan, di bagian depan, dan ini dapat dimanfaatkan oleh para siswa-siswa yang duduk di bagian belakang untuk melakukan melakukan aktivitas di luar dari pembelajaran, seperti cerita dengan teman yang di sekitarnya, seperti teman sebangkunya, kemudian baring-baring atau bermalas-malasan, bahkan mungkin bermain handphone, dan ini sangat tidak efektif dia. Jadi para guru harus berdiri dan bahkan berkeliling saat menjelaskan materi yang ia sedang jelaskan. The second one is the teacher's voice is too low. The teacher's voice must be heard by all participants in class, so that the material can be understood by students. If teacher's voice is too low, it can cause students to become disinterested in what teachers say. The third one is the teacher is too long-winded. When the teachers give explanation to the student about the material, the teachers don't need to adding some information out of the topic. But terkadang ada beberapa guru yang ketika dia menjelaskan materi dan materi tersebut sedikit berkaitan dengan pengalaman hidupnya, dia kemudian menceritakan hal tersebut dan malah berlarut-larut sehingga jauh dari topik yang sedang dibahas, yang sedang dia jelaskan. Ini dapat menyebabkan the explanation sebelumnya itu menjadi tidak jelas atau samar-samar lagi. The next one is the writing on the board is too small. So, when writing subject matter on the board, the teacher's writing must be visible to all participants, to all students in class, even the student that sitting on the back. The next one is speaking too fast. There are some teachers who explain the material very quickly. It is important for teachers to know the correct tempo when teaching, so that the explanation can be understood by students. And the last one is staring at the textbook, floor, and the ceilings. It's not true. When the teachers explain the material, they just stare at the textbook, at the floor, or the ceilings. The teachers must pay attention to the student they teach, so the student can feel interested to the teacher's explanation. Jadi ketika guru menjelaskan, dia tidak boleh hanya melihat kepada buku atau bahan ajar yang dia pakai. Dia harus memperhatikan para siswa agar para siswa merasa bahwa mereka saat ini sedang diperhatikan oleh guru. Jadi mereka harus juga fokus dan mendengarkan apa yang sedang guru mereka itu jelaskan. So those were some of the mistakes that teachers usually make when explain the material, and it should be avoided by teachers. That's all from me. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.